All right. So as he gets ready to speak on the governor speaking on 311, we're going to get back to that. But first, want to talk about this month, July, marking 35 years of the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, a landmark piece of legislation for civil rights. With significant progress being made, though, over the last 3 decades, there's still a lot of work to be done from advocates. We're joined right now by Carl Blake. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Paralyzed Veterans of America, discussing some of these real-life barriers that millions of people with disabilities still face. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us here on Live Impact News. From your perspective, has the country lived up to that promise?
Yeah, so PVA has been around for almost 80 years, and accessibility has been a core tenet of our mission since our founding. We were very involved in the passage of the ADA. If you ask one of our members who experienced living in this country with a serious disability prior to the ADA, they would tell you absolutely significant advancements have been made, that this country is a better place. But the bottom line is, no, we have not lived up to that promise because there are still far too many barriers that exist. Our members and frankly, all people with disabilities encounter barriers in their daily life that impact their ability to go about their activities of daily living.
Carl, why don't you give us some examples then of some of these barriers that are still affecting veterans?
Yeah, so some of the barriers are not obvious to the average person, but they're out there everywhere. It's accessible sidewalks, it's accessible crosswalks, it's curb cuts that make those spaces accessible. Many people with disabilities have challenges in accessing restaurants, entertainment venues, hotels, which impacts people's ability to travel. We've even had members who have had challenges in accessing health care, particularly in local and rural community settings, because healthcare facilities may not have the right kind of accessibility needs to meet their needs and to deliver the health care that they need. And so, many of our members have reported these challenges for many years, and they continue to report them even today.
And I see that new data from Paralyzed Veterans of America show 1 out of 3 people with mobility disabilities are reporting that they're missing appointments, something very simple like that because of accessibility barriers. How about the emotional, psychological impact of these challenges?
Yeah, the bottom line is, if you're a person with a disability and you encounter a barrier to your daily life, it's devastating. The average person with a disability spends most of their life just trying to maximize their independence, to live a meaningful, fulfilling life, and be an active and engaged member of society. So if that person experiences a barrier to what they're doing in their daily life, it really is devastating.
Beyond the physical and the mental, I'm seeing challenges to disabled veterans also face in the workplace. How has that improved, or has it not?
I think the area where there's the greatest need for improvement is in enforcement. While the tenets of the law have been implemented in various fashions, where there is a serious lack is the resources and the staffing necessary to ensure that the tenets of the law are enforced. The bottom line is, a law with no real enforcement is no law at all. And so we've put a lot of emphasis on improving that enforcement. If you go to our website, pva.org, you'll find a petition asking for everyone to sign to improve enforcement of the ADA.
Has the digital age technology helped at all?
Certainly, I think a lot of people with disabilities use advanced technology to improve their lives, but it can be simple things that stand in their way. There are just physical access barriers that exist all around us that are not obvious to people. And for as amazing as digital technology can be, some type of advanced digital technology does not ensure that the curb cut to your local sidewalk is set up in such a fashion that if I'm in a wheelchair, I can actually access the sidewalk.
What would you like to see then in the next 5 years before the 40th anniversary? And what is the call to action from the community?
Well, I think the focus needs to be on public education and getting more people involved in awareness, and then trying to influence further change. There's still more steps that can be done so that these barriers that are out there can be knocked down. What we've asked people to do is go to our website, as I mentioned earlier, pva.org/barriers still exist. You'll see our PSAs that highlight all the various types of barriers that people with disabilities experience. And really what we want is, we just want the general public, we want business owners, we want policymakers to understand they all have a stake in this. That accessibility for people with disabilities is actually accessibility for all. And they have a stake in it, and they can all influence change. And I think over the next 5 years, there's the opportunity to do it. Again, it will require enforcing key tenets of the law that have been that was enacted 35 years ago, but the opportunity is certainly there.
Cara Blake from the Paralyzed Veterans of America, thank you for your time this morning as the Americans with Disabilities Act marks 35 years since being passed here this month. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.